Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Apologize for the bit of a delayed start here with the stream. We ran into, I don't know, some kind of weird issues with YouTube, and it's just has a really bad beta go live thing where if you set a scheduled time for a stream to go live, I don't know how it works. It was showing live for me, it was not showing live for anyone else, so we had to make a new one on the fly. But here we are, round 2 of the ACRL Miata Madness. This is at Charlotte Roval, a track that I am sure will not disappoint. We see a lot of familiar faces back this week. Tom Basley at the top of the practice times right now. So no surprises given last week's showing. However, we'll see if he can stay away from Tomas, as everyone remembers at Okayama, there was two separate incidents with Tom and Tomas in both races, and both times it gave Rune the win, which he was happy about. I'm not sure about anyone else. As far as our streaming stuff here, I think we've got most of it sorted. I kind of have a better grip on the way replays work. It's still kind of a piece of shit, but we get it a little bit better. It likes to take you to the top of the lap when you're going back and looking at an incident, so we'll see if we can't wrangle that in the submission. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few incidents at the chicane. For those of you that are watching that have not driven this, maybe you were an ACRL guy, maybe you've only done a Seto. Charlotte Roval is a track that really is all about who has the most bravery, we'll say, going into the chicane on the back straight. It really is about who can carry the most speed. So I actually think it'd be fun. We'll keep an eye on Tom here. We'll hop on board when he comes around for his flying lap. And again, those of you that have not seen this track or have not raced it, you can you get a feel for it. It's actually a very demanding track. It's hard. It doesn't look like it. If you just kind of looked at the layout and look at it on paper, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, it's a Roval. But it definitely has some challenging kind of late apex turns, a lot of off camber when you're entering onto the oval. I was watching in practice, quite a few people losing the cars going up onto the banked oval section of the track, and quite a few misjudging their speed going through turn 1. There's plenty of large curbs throughout this track that if you take too much speed and you hit one of those curbs, it will absolutely unsettle the car. It's a little bit better in the Miatas compared to, like, say, a GT3. These can take the curbs a little bit better. They don't go quite as fast, so you won't see as much chaos coming out of that chicane. But that's not to say that it won't happen, especially people going too wide. So Tom's actually just kind of hammering the throttle. I assume he's trying to burn some fuel for his qualifying. It's based on throttle position, but here is the notorious chicane right here. And this is, in these cars, it'll probably, I would assume it's a lift. I'm not sure that I've ever driven the Miata here. I have to assume that it's going to be a lift and not any braking kind of through that. Maybe a very little bit if you're not quite brave enough. But yeah, it's a very tricky track, and it's going to be very interesting to see with some pack driving, especially going through those chicanes. There, I would almost guarantee, will be major incidents early on in this. The format for today is a 15-minute qualifying race, which is what we are qualifying for now. And this will be followed by a 35-minute feature race, where the results of this race will determine the order for the 35-minute feature. So let's hop on with Tom. Going through turn 1, carry a lot of speed. Want to cut it close here, get close to that wall. That's a bit of it. I'm out here for, it's really like a double apex kind of float wide, and that's what I mean about those curves right there. If you take too much, it can really upset the car. You can carry pretty wide there. It's not a cut. We're not beholden to white lines here. Come through, and this is going to be another kind of a weird over this hill apex, come down blind corner. It's very easy right here to lose the car and carry too much speed into that wall. You have to be very careful. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, coming up onto the banked portion of the track. Very easy to lose the car there as well. There's quite a few places on this track where it will punish you if you push just a little too hard and you're over driving. So now we're going to see Tom come up through the chicane. I really want to try to listen to the engine note and see if he does brake or if it's just a lift. That's flat out. That is absolutely flat out. So that's going to make it even that much more fun, in my opinion. Yeah, these guys are going flat out through that. And you saw how tight it is. There really is no room for a too wide. If someone wants to try that, I'm not sure how it's going to work. Again, very aggressive with those curves. You want to take those ones aggressively, and he comes across the line. We didn't. There it is. That's the fastest lap of the day with a 25.4. But it's a very fun track. It's almost a street circuit on the inside. I mean, there's really no runoff through this first section here. And Sam Jordan is our provisional pole now. He jumped up. I know Rune was saying he was having potential issues, and there's Tomas, who just slapped the shit out of everyone. Rune was having issues with his wheel, I think. I saw on one of the Discord channels, so we'll keep an eye out and see if he's actually going to qualify or not. We do also have some, and that's unfortunate for Tom there. That is exactly what I was talking about coming off. It's very easy to misjudge and carry just a little too much speed. So that will be the end of his qualifying. It will not go any further. I'm trying to see. We still have Rune, who has not. I'm not sure if he's fixed it or not. That was some timing right there. That was not on purpose. I did not plan that. But we still see there's quite a few drivers down at the bottom that have not qualified. I'm not sure if that's by design. That looked very strange. But as it stands right now, Tomas is the provisional pole. Sam very close to Mike K there. Rune, Nico, Bassoon, Timu, Anderson, Wilson, Rafael Silva. We expect to see. I expect to see some decent things out of him. He's typically a fast driver. We've seen him in the AC GT3 series, and he pretty routinely has good pace. That's really pushing the car there. I would expect to see him somewhere in the top 5. I'm not sure how much he drives this car. I think he does a fair amount. So we will keep an eye on. I think this to me looks like a flying lap. Let's hop on board. Not a lot of room for error there, and if you catch too much of those curbs, it is going to be the end of your race. Absolutely, for sure. It's not hitting the limiter. I'm not entirely sure why it sounds like it's cutting out. Ooh, very aggressive braking. Ooh, carried quite a bit of speed through that. And we don't see a lap time coming through. That could be because there was a 1X at some point before we hopped on board. That would have to be the only reason for it. So we will see. We'll keep an eye on that. We still have quite a few people, and that might have been a 1X there. Rune still has not qualified. Not entirely sure why that is. And we're just addressing. There it is. Okay. And with 2 minutes left in qualifying here, going into this 15-minute qualifying race, we still see Tomas at the top, 0.6 ahead. We'll see if Rafael. I think he's one of the few that actually is planning on qualifying that has not come across the line. Something is wrong with 11th place, and I know who that is. It is, well, he's done qualifying, but it is Saran. So he's been the wizard that's kind of helped put together this this broadcasting software. And see Rafael come across the line. Is that 25-2? How can that be? I'm not entirely understanding why. I mean, I haven't been paying too much attention to him. But anyway, yeah, Saran's the one that really did all the heavy lifting on this software. It's not an easy thing to do. And I think from the looks of it that there was an issue because it's only his name that's out. So there, it might have been something during testing, some setting that he forgot to switch over. So we'll try to get that going after this. But yeah, with less than a minute left, I believe all drivers are clear of the track. Again, no Rune qualifying. I'm not sure if that's by design or if his wheel is actually deaded. I see him in the stream chat, so I'm not entirely sure. But coming up on this race, we can expect to see, I would assume, quite a bit of bumping, especially in the early laps when the field's bunched up. There's not a lot of track, especially through the infield, and we will be especially watching the chicane on the back on the first lap, especially because as you can see, these guys are threading a needle through that chicane. They're going full, flat out, no braking, no lifting. There's really not room for two cars there. So if someone tries it, we'll have to see. If it happens in an early lap, they're both going to have to lift, and then that obviously creates issues for people behind. So it's I'm expecting to see some very interesting things here. All that being said, that's not right. This is. So starting grid, Tomas on pole with a 124.4. Michael K in second with a 25. Tomas is the only one that broke into 24s. Sam Jordan, who we saw have quite a bit of pace last week, as well as Tom Basley. That's your second row. Derek Hartley and Luca Babetta. Luca is our favorite meme on the ACRL broadcasts. Derek with showing some excellent pace too, as well as Geary in seventh. I think Geary was a little bit outside of the top 10 last week, so that's good to see that he's back up there. And then coming through, Stewart shows here, but just not in the live timings. Valette Sylvain, a.k.a. Megadeth from ACRL. Most of you know him in 13th. Henry Green, Michael Anderson, Hugh Messenger. Jeffrey Arroyan, Nico Bassoon, Spencer Kemble, and Nicholas Nisavaka. We see Rafael Silva, Rune, Ryan, and Timu not putting down qualifying times. I don't know if they are actually on grid. Rune, let's see if we can't. Yeah, he's on grid. He's just he's at the back. And I believe we might be. Oh boy, this my app is not having fun right now. So we're gonna stay on. Tomas here. Try to get the best angle coming off. I think that's likely it. And we are about 10 seconds away from this first race. About 11 laps, we think. May God have mercy on everyone in this race. And they should be off. And away they go. And Tomas getting away pretty well. He's got Michael right with him. Let's see. We're gonna hop up into. This is the blimp, really? This is I think my app it's struggling right now. It's having a hard time working itself out. But Michael and Tomas are getting away nicely. We see Derek behind on the inside trying to get by Sam. Too wide with Luca right behind him. I think Derek's going to make that work. That looks like it absolutely is happening. And it looks like Luca also got by Sam there. Some brilliant driving. Yeah, we'll do the gyro. You can really see the bank on this track. There's quite a few 4Xs towards the back, but we want to see. I don't see anyone attempting 2 wides through here, and this is the portion of the track. Sam maybe having a look on Luca, but thinks wisely to back out of that. Everyone seems to be through fine. Oh boy. Very, very sketchy. Rune's through, and it looks like everyone just about got through. Nico trying to pass on the apron. I believe that is an illegal move, as was announced in our Discord. And some of the mods know exactly what I'm thinking about why that's an issue at the moment. But up at the front, Tomas doing nice to create some separation between himself and Mike, and Tom right behind Mike. These top 3 really are driving away from it, and we see Derek with this, again, just a huge pack of cars back here. We're going to kind of keep an eye on this. Derek 2 wide with Sam. There's definitely some contact there. Sam runs wide, but he holds on. Yeah, he does. Sam is just, he's under intense fire this race, it seems like. And we'll see, does everyone keep it clean through here? They do. Luca and Geary right behind Sam. Derek nudged ahead of them there. This, but definitely some touring car-esque contact side by side through corners. Quite a bit of bumping through there, and now we'll see how these guys navigate this coming up. You see the leaders up ahead, all 3 are through, no problem. We expect to not have any issues here. Geary with a very scary line, very scary. We'll just see. Yep, everyone does nicely to get through. I almost jinxed it. Meanwhile, Rune, I think, has what seems to me like something wrong with the front of his car. Yeah, he's definitely had an incident, and we see Nico with the back of his car jammed up. We see Spencer Kemble with not much left, and we see Raphael with tons of damage on his car. So we will definitely check back in later and see exactly what happened. My guess is it was probably one incident and all were somehow involved in it. But we'll get back here. We're going to hop on board with Tom Basley here. We'll kind of watch this battle from afar. Michael K doing a really nice job keeping up with Tomas here. He's very consistent. It's going to be tricky to try to find a way past him, especially here on this track. One mistake, though, could spell trouble. And if I'm Tom, I'm driving very cautiously, as is Michael, because if everyone recalls, if you were here last week, these are almost identical to the top 3 in that first race at Okayama, when Tomas caught a little too much grass, spun the car, and took out Tom and Michael with him, effectively DNFing the top 3, which gave Rune a win. It's also important to note this is just the qualifying race. There's only 15 minutes, so there is going to be a 35-minute race after this. Michael, with a move on Tomas, that's going to open the door for Tom. Tom's going to be able to get side by side here, I think. Tomas is going to have the inside line, but Michael not afraid to send it. And Tomas sticking on the inside. A little bit of side by side contact with him and Tom, and by a little I mean a hell of a lot. But Michael Kundak-Sioglu, I really didn't want to say it, but it warrants it to pass Tomas here. That was a brilliant move into that final chicane, just sending it. And now we have a very close battle at the top for top 3. And we will quickly just glance at the rest of the incidents in the field. I'm not seeing too much outside of what was likely a large incident early on, and we will definitely go back after this race and check that. But right now, this is definitely the most interesting battle on the track. We're gonna follow Tomas here. Let's hop on board with him. Let's see if he's able to use that slipstream to exact his revenge. But it's looking like, we're gonna have to go right back to the TV cam, because I believe we are gonna go too wide through the chicane. Michael probably wisely backs off that. Tomas just throws caution to the wind and throws his car into harm's way. And look at how much distance he just opened up between those back two. And it really is just such a pivotal part of the track that you have to carry that speed through because of this long straight after. And now Michael's going to be exposed to Tom. Maybe a little bit of a netcode contact there. Hard to tell. Not sure if the stewards will do anything about that. And I'm also seeing that the stewards have black flagged the number 71 car of Rafael Silva. he caused a collision twice, we're seeing, between him and the number 18 of Michael Anderson. So again, we will definitely check back in later in the race and see what exactly transpired there. And as far as the top now, Mike kind of really sacrificed 2 positions by letting Tomas go first through that chicane and not kind of, pressing the issue with it too wide. Tomas has really benefited the most with almost a 2-second gap when he was just in 3rd place not too long ago. Tom trying to catch him, and Michael about a second back from Tom. So we really are seeing the top 3. They have spread way out. Tomas is actually coming up on lap traffic. Is that possible? And what's going on back here? Did I just see? This I can't believe is still going on. Luca getting it done there over Pazzi Melanin, who we saw pretty competitive last week. Sam Jordan, who was very quick at Okayama, is struggling to find, I'm not sure that I would say pace. I think he's just kind of caught in just what seems like an endless amount of battles between 4 through 8 positions. Oh, someone runs right. Derek Hartley using the escape road there. It's quite the livery he has as well. I just noticed there's a lot happening with that. Will Eatwell, I'm not sure. I can't recall that his pace at Okayama was exceptional, but he's definitely doing a nice job putting the pressure on Derek here, who runs very wide, and I believe that is lap traffic on the inside as a car being blue flagged. But Will, I think, is going to make this work. He is. Now Derek's going to try to get the over. Nope, he couldn't do it. Could not quite get in there. Will, his car is definitely showing that it's got some battle scars. He's doing a nice job trying to move up. He's in 8th place now, and he is going to be trying his best to track down. That is another lapped car in front of him. I thought Geary is the car that is in 7th position. I was very confused there. So we have quite a bit of lap traffic. Just checking in at the front. Tomas with a 2-second gap over Tom Basley. And behind Tom, we got Michael Kay, who's about 0.6 back from him. And then we jump back to 4th place, and there they are on the track, way back. About 6 seconds behind, we see Pazzi Melanin trying to put a move on Luca. Let's hop on board and see if he can't make it work. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. It really is a testament of how fast you can just throw these cars through these corners safely, especially through the chicanes. Ooh, that's very wide. That's a little bit of contact with the wall. And I believe, yep, that's going to open the door for Sam Jordan. And now Geary's thinking that he can catch up pretty quick here. But it seems like Posse he's gotten that under control now. And between Will and Derek, we still see a pretty consistent battle happening. We also see that the number 47 and number 60 cars were under review for a collision. The 47 is Petter Pranerlin, and the 60 is Stuart Hayden. And Stuart got a black flag for a bump and pass. And that is straight from the stewards. Checking in, though, it looks like Rune is back on track. He is. Still with some damage. Raphael's race is done, as is Nico's and Spencer's. So we will have to keep an eye out again after the race and see exactly what happened there. We'll have a little bit of time. But here we go. Michael doing a nice job catching up. He has shown some exceptional pace to consistently hunt down these guys in the top 3, especially Tom and Tomas, who are some of the faster drivers we have in ACRL. Tomas kind of in, kind of out. Splitting hairs. But Michael doing a really nice job. He's trying to keep up with that slipstream. I think at this point, with 4 minutes left, Tomas is all but gone and not coming back. Michael doing his best. He really wants to keep up here. 4 minutes to go. Anything can happen, especially with these cars too. I mean, we saw this a little bit at Okayama, but not as much as we do here, where the drafting was so important. And with these long straights here, and especially later in the season when we go to Daytona, it's going to be, I expect to see some bump drafting. It's going to be a very interesting time, but we'll see. Michael has historically shown he's not interested in a too wide through the chicane. We saw that with Tomas. I would expect that if he catches up with Tom off the draft that he will not send it through the chicane. We see a lot of smoke up ahead. Tomas got through. Okay. Yeah, and these guys just playing it safe. Now we saw Mike. He passed Tomas into this chicane up ahead, and it looks like he's got a nice slipstream on Tom. He's going to try to get on the inside. Very late on the brakes, but ooh. Now that is a very nice move. Very nice move. Both of them were a little bit late on the brakes trying to beat each other. Michael was able to wrangle it through, and he's going to be P2 with 3 minutes left in the race. Ooh, we saw someone crashing back there. I'm not entirely sure who that was. It was a big wreck for Michael Anderson. Oh, we will come back to that after the race, I believe. Yeah, we want to do that. That's pretty late in the lap. Meanwhile, Geary is tracking down Sam now. Geary up there in 5th. Quite the turnaround from his race last week. And who is that off to the side? Is that? It looks like a back marker again. The number 24 of Nicholas Nisibaka, and his car is very damaged. And I do not expect it will be completing the rest of the race. Geary really trying to close that gap. Meanwhile, everywhere else on track, already at the front, Mike K has opened that gap up to 1.5 seconds. But the top 3 are just consistently driving away from the battling that's going on back behind. Let's hop on with Geary. Let's see if he's afraid to make it too wide into the chicane. It does not look like he is. This will surely be interesting. Oh, wow. Either Sam lifted or Geary had way more speed off that draft than I thought he did. But a nice pass for him now, up in the 4th position, which, again, can't be understated. I don't even think he was in the top 10 last week at Okayama, so this is a night and day transition representing the Carl Snail Sport livery. We see Will Ewell also having a good performance tonight in 6th place. Derek Hartley in 7th. Quite a bit of damage on that car. Not quite sure what happened, but it looks like it's almost all the way around. As far as the rest of the field, we have Sylvain Villette working on Posse Mellon, and Posse has definitely, he's way down from where he was earlier in the race. He was up in that top 8 battle. Sylvain makes it, that's a nice little move. Just getting up right on the inside, making it happen. Because now I think he's going to be all right. So that's a nice move by Sylvain. He's got about 3 second gap to 10th place, I believe. And oh no, Sylvain! Oh no! Hang on, let's hop on board. I believe it's Formula 1 style points, so top 10 earn the points. I'm almost positive that's how we're doing this. So that 10th position is definitely it's an important one. And again, this is just the qualifying race. Our feature race is next. That's a 35-minute race with a reverse grid field based on the results of this. So we will be setting that up simultaneously. I'll be trying to do, some replay stuff. We're going to briefly go through that because of the fact that I have to set up the next session as well. So there will be a little bit of a break if anyone's listening. But meanwhile, at this point, Tomas 6.5 seconds ahead. Just absolutely, I don't know, turned on the burners. He actually had fallen into 2nd place by our 2nd place driver, Michael, who managed to catch up and pass him, which is something we see seldom done here. Tomas was able to get it back kind of through a game of chicken going into the chicane. And from there, it's just kind of, he drove away from it. And even Tom has fallen far behind Michael at this point. So that top 3 has really spread out. In fact, Geary is actually only 6 seconds back from 3rd, and that was about a 10-second gap not too long ago. We also see Sam Jordan here. He's trying to do it to Geary. Now, Geary's sending on him up the chicane. I'm not sure that Sam, yeah, he's definitely, I don't think he's even remotely interested, but probably looking to get a good run out. And I think that might have been good enough. And you can see right there how strong that draft is on this track. It really is pretty incredible. And we hear the fireworks going off. That means the race is finished. Sam gets Geary at the line. Oh, no. Geary spins. He's got to cross the line. Put it in reverse, kid. Oh, no. Put it in reverse. What are you doing? You didn't cross the line. Oh, that was a photo finish between Dirk and Geary. We will definitely go back and see. You know what? I don't even care. Yeah, okay. And look at that photo finish. Look at how close that was between these two. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But so Tomas is our winner as he shows off here. A pretty handed win, but I think Mike gave him a little spook. Gave him a scare. Let's do this. This is much nicer. So Tomas won 7 seconds left, and again, this is reverse grid. Or no, it's not reverse grid. I'm sorry. This is the qualifying for the next race. So Tomas will have pole for the next race, the 35-minute feature. I think if Michael and Tom and maybe Sam don't reel him in early, it's going to be a pretty brutal one for everyone involved. Rune catching up in the 13th. Timo up in the 14th. Not bad. And Stuart Hayden, Luca. I'm not entirely sure what happened to Luca. But he fell way down from where he was. So we're actually we're gonna try briefly here, very quickly, because I have other things that I gotta do. But I want to try to see if we can't find. I know there was an early lap in the race. Oh, this one's with Rune Janssens, but we'll hop back and see if we can't see exactly what happened here. So we're on board with Rune? We should be. There he is. And again, there was a 4X. It doesn't really tell us exactly where it happened, other than it did happen at some point during this lap. So we see in front of Rune is Rafael, who also was involved in quite a few things. So there's one. Rafael happened to just get into the back of someone. I'm not entirely sure who that is, but that also explains the damage to Rune's car as well as Rafael's. It was also, I believe, the 4X. We will hop back and see if we can't find exactly what happened to Rafael. And again, this is unfortunately what we just saw. So it wants to take us through the entire lap again. You know what? We don't have. I don't have the patience for that. So we'll just pretend that that's the way it's supposed to be done, just for the sake of seeing exactly what happened early in the race. And I see Rafael had quite a few incidents. So we'll just kind of stick here and just see exactly what happened early on in this race, because it certainly changed the outcome for quite a few drivers at the back of the field. And that's, yeah, that'll definitely do it. And then that's a really poor rejoin by Nico. That is a very poor rejoin. So yeah, it looked like, honestly, I think Rafael kind of got turned down into. Can't really comment on the other issues that happened. As far as Luca, I do want to see what happened to him. He had a pit stop on lap 8. Oh, so here's the incident. So let's have a look and see. Let's see what happened to our good friend Luca. He finished in 18th, but he was up there, and you see that Sam Jordan right behind him, who finished in 4th place after a controversial finish with Geary Waruwasaya that saw Geary in reverse across the line. But at some point, Luca had a little bit of a moment here. It might have been too much curb, or it could have been a misjudgment and a wall. And we see Posse Melanin down there actually had a spin, which also explains why he had fallen down the grid as well. And we're still waiting to see exactly. That's very quick. Yep. Yeah, that'll be some damage. Apparently he pit this lap, so I'm not sure. Judging by the way the car, it looks like he's trying to catch it. I believe that was bent steering. Let's see if his. Yep, you can see the angle of that steering wheel right there. That is... Oh, she does not like going fast, Luca. Oh, no, she does not. Let's see. Was he brave enough to... That'll do it. Yeah, that'll be the end. And oh, that's exactly where Derek got his damage. We were wondering, oh, it's Sylvain! Oh. Luca channeling Sebastian Vettel. My goodness. But that is, again, just the beginning. This is just a 15-minute race. We are going to go on break here momentarily while I get the next server up and running. We will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The field is gridding. Sorry that this took so long. I had to set the entire thing up. All the that's why. Okay. We had all kinds of I had to manually put everyone on the track. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to do like 5 things at once right here. But yeah, we're here. I think I hope I did. Tomas is supposed to be in first. Tomas is not on the grid yet. Okay. So again, we did the previous race was the yeah. Okay. This is there's some very strange things happening right now. The first lap of so we're gonna get this right. Last race, finishing order was Tomas starting from the pits. The finishing order was the order of the race. Yet Tomas is not here. I'm not entirely sure where he is, but he's not here. So Michael Kundak Sialu, Mike K out in the front. We see the whole field coming in behind. So far, everything seems to be okay and tidy. It looks that way. We got a lot of people coming through here. Quite a bit of the field jockeying. Ooh, no posse melanin. Got caught up by Peter. Oh, and Saran's off. There's chaos in the midfield. Absolute chaos. So we see Rafael Silva here. He had a little bit of trouble going through traffic last race, but we'll check in at the front. Mike walking away. Yeah, the rest, this is about where we expect to see everyone working itself out nicely. Let's hop on with Bjorn here. He's got Rune behind him. Unfortunately, yeah, we should get on. We'll do this. He's the furthest one back so we can see kind of everything that's happening ahead as they enter the chicane for the first time. See some smoke up ahead. I don't see any slow cars. They all get through. Not bad. Uh-oh. No, but they didn't. Tom Basley had an incident, and we see Timu Polki going around. Everyone's losing it now coming out of... Oh. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, and we missed a change at the front. There's way too much happening right now. So Sam just took the lead up at the front. We have... Yeah, this is... I don't know what's going on, too, with our... I think our app broke. Or it's... I don't know. We can't see who's at the front, but we know Sam's at the front. It has something to do with what's going on with like the gridding and everything. So we got Rune mixing it up here, moving up into these guys with Ryan and Dirk. The 3 of them, 4 of them, all familiar, driving around one another. Should be kept pretty tidy. However, we're gonna break our cardinal rule here because it's a big incident. We want to see what happened to Tom Basley there. We definitely want to know. I'm going to check with the stewards. It looks like there is an incident under review. It is the 47 and 25 car. The 25 is Posse Melon and the 47 is Peter. We did see that one happen live, and that was a no further action by the stewards on that particular incident. So now we see Mike at the top and Sam behind him. Oh no, someone went around. Oh no, the teammates hit each other. Dirk went around and Ryan ended up clipping him, and there's Rafael Silva up in the 7th from all the way back, way downtown, comes back. But Mike's back in the front. Tom Basley's out. There's a lot happening right now. We're trying to find the actual events themselves because I think we want to know exactly what did happen to Tom. So we're going to quickly jump and see. Was it really on the first lap? That can't be. I think it was. So yeah, this is going to take far too long to watch that entire thing. But unfortunately, Tom is out of this race. There's quite a few. Also, Posse Melanin we saw There's also there's an incident between car number 6 and number 60. Number 6 is Timu, and number 60 is Stuart Hayden. And that was no further action as well. So there's quite a few incidents being looked at, but not very many penalties. So it's a little hard to get a grip on. But we see Sam walking away, Geary up into 4th place. Rune is also caught back up with the field. This is fairly spread out. Dirk's back a ways still. We see Luca followed by Seam Lock, who missed the previous race but's back. And we also see Tomas, who's back in the race after missing the start. I'm not sure if that was intended or not. We also see Rafael Silva with the fastest lap of the current race. He's up in 7th place. So behind Luca, we have a little bit of a battle maybe happening here. Stewart. Yeah, I think we do. Stewart's trying to reel in Hugh, but he's got Petter coming up on his inside, and I think Petter's going to have enough to get that side by side. It looks like he sure will. Oh, no, and someone gets dumped. Oh, Serain does a nice job missing it. Who was that? It wasn't Timu. It was Michael Anderson. We also saw him have a crash last race and kind of got bulldozed a couple other times. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Really, it was kind of difficult to see if he lost that himself or not. But what we will do, let's just quickly, it happened right at the beginning of the lap, so we should actually be able to see it relatively quickly without losing too much of the action here. This is the 4X incident that happened, but I'm not sure. I don't believe it was here. It was not, so there might be. It might be this one. I think it is. Yes, it will be this lap. So you get to see it because Hugh was behind him. We saw Serain coming up. He really took an aggressive bit of curbing there. Definitely some. The car was essentially grinding on it. Comes through. Oh, that's too much curb. Yep, that's too much curb, and that will absolutely have that effect. So very unfortunate to see. But we'll get back in with Mike here at the front. But Sam is definitely doing his best to kind of track him down. And again, I apologize for the issues with the live timing on the left side. That's definitely not working as intended. These guys fairly spread out. Tomas seems to be driving on an island all on his own right now. He's about 4 seconds back from a huge gaggle of cars. We see, so we got Derek Hartley surrounded by the Carl Simsport gang, and someone gets dumped. Who was it? Was it Luca? It was Luca. Looked like maybe one of the other guys got into the back of him. Very hard to see. Keep an eye. He had an interesting rejoin last race, but yeah, it almost could have been possibly a netcode thing. We don't know, but we can always go back later after this race. I will have a little bit more time to go and look through these replays. Meanwhile, let's see what Sam Jordan's going to be able to do here. We've seen Mike. He's been really good on his brakes in that final chicane. He really seems to push it a little bit further than everyone else. But I'll tell you what, that time Sam actually had a very nice exit. Going to try to get side by side. Not going to be able to do it. That corner is really, really hard to cut on the inside like that. You're going to lose a lot of time on exit. But these two are firmly away from everyone else. Geary is about seconds back. And behind Geary, we see Rune caught up, and behind Rune we have Rafael Silva. So these guys, Rune and Rafael, they came from definitely the back of the pack for this the start of this race, and they've crawled their way back up. Meanwhile, we do have a lot. We have a lot of retirements from this race. It looks like Michael Anderson's out. We did see that that accident happen just now. Nico Basson. Bjorn, Valet, Sylvain, Nicholas Posse, and Tom Basley, who I believe is still he is. So we're going to have to see what happened to a lot of these guys after the race, but we want to keep an eye right now on the front of the pack because Sam and Mike are definitely, and this is, again, you know, I kind of forgot, thinking this is a sprint race. We still have 26 minutes left in this race. There is a ton of time left in this. So it's definitely this is beyond what I would consider a sprint race for these cars. This is a pretty good length. I would definitely expect that. Well, I was gonna say, yeah. Well, we see Rune is already caught up, and I don't know where's Rafael Silva. Here he is. He's right behind Rune. Ryan behind him. What happened to Geary? Oh no! Oh no! What happened here? Why did that happen? Geary. Oh, be careful with that rejoin. Alright, I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to find out because it happened at the beginning of the lap. And so Geary was under intense pressure by Rune. It looks like he rolled over and let Rune pet his belly. I do not like that. We're going to have a talk about that later, Geary, because that's unforgivable. And it led directly to this. That's what happens when you let Rune win. So Geary's going to be working his way from 12th position now. It looks like he kept the car largely off the wall. I think most of the damage was from earlier, so all's fair there. Meanwhile, Michael and Sam are still battling up at the front. It's been very tame so far. Sam being very patient, and Michael just kind of he really wants the perfect pass, and neither of them are sacrificing that much time. They do have Rune coming behind, and you can see right behind Rune, Rafael's catching up. So they have some hard-charging drivers behind. If they start battling between the two of them, they're really going to start to see some seconds slip, and from there it's going to go into a four-way fight with those two guys behind if they don't kill each other before they get there. 5th place, we got Ryan Wilson hanging a ways back, but behind Ryan, we still have Tomas still climbing. Just kind of quietly just chewing away at the field. He's got a 5.5 second gap to Ryan Wilson, who then has a 5-second gap to Silva. So Tomas is a long way off from that top 4. But with 23 minutes left, we saw in practice and in qualifying, he was about half a second a lap faster. So it could happen. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. Meanwhile, Sam is just absolutely glued to the back of Michael. And again, I'm looking at the live timing. I think we had actually more people DNF at this point. After these guys kind of enter at what I would consider a point of safety for passing. Sam took a little too much curb, I think, on exit there. Got the car up in the air. It's going to cost him, I think, a little too much time. And it's almost like Sam wants to, if he could just get an exit out of that final chicane, he would be able to make this work. But Michael really is doing a nice job, and I think we said this at Okayama about him. He just drives like there's no one behind him. Not compromising his lines, not overly defending, not really worried a whole lot. I think at this point, with how close Sam is, that he would be, maybe starting to cover off the insides. But we've also seen that he is probably one of the latest breakers already in this race. So I think if anyone's going to outbrake him, they're going to be going well past the corner. So he's just taking it easy, but always mindful that Sam is right behind him. Their times are very close. Michael's last lap was a 26.6, Sam's was a 26.1, and I suspect that could have been a little faster. But he seems to have just as much, if not more, pace than Mike at the moment. The way that he's glued to him. But that gap is staying pretty consistent at about 2 to 3 tenths a second, and Mike really got a run there. Really good run. Yeah, Sam's definitely not going to be able to do much with that. We also see Rafael past Rune. I'm very upset that I missed this, but let's see what Rune does. We'll hop in the gyro cam. This is... everyone's playing nice. Hasn't always been the case between these two drivers. Really see how hard these guys throw that car into this corner, and you really are just kind of hoping and praying that you're going to make it through in one piece. That's why we've seen so many accidents there. And we see a car exiting the pits. I believe that is the car of Hugh Messenger, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to make way for the battle happening behind. And what a battle it is. We see a great battle here, and we see Sam and Mike side by side right now. Sam's giving it a try. He's not going to be able to get that nose on the inside. Mike very fast through there. And Sam was a little more on the inside than he would have liked to see. but with that draft, he still might be all right. And we're going to have to try to simultaneously watch 2 of these at the same time. But Rafael actually kind of just blew that gap wide open between him and Rune. That's almost a second at this point, which is absolutely crazy through the infield that he managed that. Oh, Sam had a very good run out of that. That looked very quick to me. You gonna try to go high side? You gonna try it? He really wants the inside of that first part of the chicane here. Sam sending it. Oh, that's going to be... Yeah, he's going to have to give that one back, I think, and he does. You can see these guys... You're not going to... I really don't think anyone here is going to be able to outbreak Mike going in any of these corners. He has been very good, and I'll tell you what, that brought Rafael and Rune way closer just by that one little incident there. Look how close they're going to be in striking distance relatively soon. And I don't think that Sam's going to be able to shake him. Rafael might already be in that draft. I think he likely will be entering the back straight. And that's really going to bring these guys right up to that top 2. You know, I knew that they would probably catch up at some point, but I didn't think it would have been, 5 minutes from when I just said it. Oh, Rune! Rookie mistake. Carries too much speed. Vamos. Rip. Rafael gets by Sam. And this is again what I've been saying all race and really all last race. I mean, the draft in these cars can't be understated. Oh, we're gonna have a 2 wide because I know Rafael's not backing out of that. No, he's not. It's a lot of balls right there to turn in when he did, and I can't help but think that if Sam was a little bit slower, he would have kept turning in anyway. But brilliant stuff. They both get out of it. Sam holds on to second place, and no one's happier about this than Mike, who's just right up front driving away. Both drivers taking identical lines, identical amounts of sausage curbs. There's also quite a bit happening from our stewarding team. The number 13 and number 15 were under review for causing a collision. The number 13 and number 15 cars. Number 15 is Hugh Messenger. He got a black flag, so that's where we saw him coming out of the pits earlier. Look at these guys. Just following each other's line. Why is Sam not coming back on track? This is madness. And Sam, we typically don't see him crack under the pressure, but man, that is an unbelievable amount of stress to be under. And he is so close to the back, daring you to make a mistake. And I strongly suspect that Rafael is going to be able to carry enough speed with the draft here to try to make some attempt happen on this chicane. There he is pulling out. Really loses a lot. Sam holding that inside part. Rafael actually backed off that, and I think that was the right decision there. No one's been brave enough to do the 2 wide. I can't say that I blame him, but we'll get back and try to clear some of these incidents off the log. Meanwhile, Tomas we see catching up as well. So keep an eye on that time on the left side. 8 seconds to the second and third place cars. But we see the number 233 and number 17 were under a collision on lap 2. The 233 is Jeffrey and the number 17 is Dirk. The 233 got a black flag for that. Jeffrey Arroyo, and number 63 and number 17 being Dirk again. 63 is Luca, under review for a collision lap 5, and there was no further action done due to net code. So, and again, we'll have some time after the race to go back and watch some of these because I won't have to do another session. But right now, this is the fight to watch. Sam is trying his best to hold on. Let's hop on with Rafael and see just how close he really is getting, and he is not afraid to play some mind games. He's not afraid to make these guys think he's throwing it up the inside. They've seen him do crazier things. But this is that's going to be the run right there. If that's not, I don't know what is. As soon as he gets back behind, look at that draft. And we're going to hop back out to the TV cams here and see, is there a really good one? I think that's a pretty good one. Rafael might have enough, and he sure does. Whew. I think Sam had to back out of that one. And now we'll see if Sam's going to be able to catch back up. He lost a lot of time there. I think he really must have backed off that for fear of the dreaded 2 wide through that chicane. But with how much time he lost on the exit, he was definitely not carrying the speed that he typically would. So we'll see if he's able to catch up. Tomas 8 seconds behind him with 16 minutes left in the race. Sam's last lap was a 27 flat. Tomas coming across the line with a 26.7. So Tomas only gaining about 0.3 on Sam in front, which is very surprising. I think Tomas just hit the wall, which is even more surprising. But very surprising because I believe that's the previous lap was the one Sam that backed off. So Tomas, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Ryan Wilson's car is battered and bruised, but making its way through in 5th place. We have Seam Log behind him in 6th. It was a nice drive for him, especially he was not at the first race, so he went straight to the back, only in front of the guys that had grid bans or grid penalties, and he's all the way up into 6th place. Just capitalizing on the carnage. There's so many people out of this race, and we have yet another incident between the number 23 and the number 13. The number 23 is Michael Anderson, and the 13 is... Who's the 13? Spencer Kemble. That was lap 3, so that's under review. These guys are going back through, and they're catching up on their penalties as well. No harm, no foul. Rafael. Unfazed. Sam's definitely closed that gap a little bit, I think. It seems to be, under a second now. But that's still quite a bit. Tomas, 10 seconds. I don't think he's going to have enough time unless something happens up front, but especially now with that damage. Ryan Wilson coming across the line here in 4th. We have, it's almost identical separation between most of these guys. Gary, we see, who had an incident earlier. Will Eatwell still hanging tough. Another top 10 showing for him, not bad. And Luca behind him in 9th. I'm not entirely sure what happened with Luca this race. I think it was this race he got spun. And we see Serain rounding out the top 10. Stewart, which is great. So that's your top 10. Those are in the points. And then on the hunt is Timu Pokey behind Serain. But looking ahead, Rafael is now within a 1.5 seconds of our leader. And I don't think anything's happened with Michael. And let me just quickly check the results and make sure. No, I don't see. There's been no X's for him, so there wasn't any kind of issue. It's just Rafael's just kind of caught up. And meanwhile, we are down to 14 drivers left in this race. We started with 25. So not ideal. Definitely quite a bit of pain happened. But we'll check after. Right now, Rafael has, I would say, about caught up. He should be seeing some of that draft, but even more so, that's not. I thought that was Tomas behind Sam. I was going to say that was a hell of a catch-up. Yeah, Tomas is actually, I think he's lost a little bit. He's probably not pushing quite as hard as he should. The number 18 and number 60 cars, lap 12, are under review. 18 and 60. 60 is Stuart Hayden. 18 is Geary. That is under review. I think Renz just spoke Dutch at me, which I don't appreciate. All right, we're going to hop on board. We're going to watch Rafael here. How far back, Sam? Yeah, we're going to watch Rafael. He's trying to get a win here. Aggressively taking the curve, very aggressively taking that curve. All the way out, using all the track as much as he can. Throwing it through. Oof, very violent impact with that curve. But you can see the time is just, it's coming. He is absolutely, he has caught up. 0.3 back. And we have a race with 11 minutes left. Rafael has come from damn near the back of the track, almost last, all the way up here fighting for first place. And he is right on him. This is almost identical to what we saw with Sam maybe 5 minutes ago. He quickly caught up. Last race we didn't really get to see his pace, largely because of some incidents early on that ended it for him. So he got it was right here, I believe, on the oval. Got turned into. I think that was him. I'm pretty sure it was the one we saw. And there's no further action between the number 18 and number 60 cars. Meanwhile, this is I feel like this battle might be kind of the unmovable force against an unstoppable object, because I feel like Mike has just kind of been tone deaf to anyone behind him. Just tunes it out. You're behind me, I'm just going to drive my race, and kind of makes it hard. And we know that Raphael, look at this, actually outbreaks him. Wow. I didn't even get through my spiel, and it happened. So Raphael is our new race leader. He got by Mike with surprising ease. But we'll see now, will he be able to hold on to it? He doesn't have the benefit of the slipstream anymore. So that definitely lends to get people a lot closer. Meanwhile, Sam has crashed? Jesus. Sam had... I don't even see. I don't even know. I don't know exactly what happened to Sam there. He has damage. I see that. He had an off track. And then, nah. I don't know. We'll go back to this later. But Sam Jordan is now out of the race. I can't see any discernible accidents that may have happened. I don't see the stewards telling me that there's something under investigation. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what happened with that. Meanwhile, Mike is keeping him within striking distance. That is too much curb. Oh! That's going to probably be terminal. And there goes Tomas. No, it's not Tomas yet. Oh, heartbreak. Let's get a hop on board and see what that steering looks like. It doesn't look good. He's cocking it. There goes Tomas. Tomas now up into second place despite missing arguably the first half of the first lap. I don't even know when he came out. And Mike is actually... There's no way he can bring this baby home. That's Ryan Wilson going by him right now. He's going to try, though. He's actually opting to not be out of this race. He is going to will that thing home. And you know what? Looking at the relative, 5th place seam log is 25 seconds back, 20 seconds back. So he might be able... 8 minutes? Oh, Jesus. That thing is just fighting him every step of the way. It's going to be a really, I think he's going to bleed a few more positions before this is done. However, it's better than just sitting on his hands right now and taking the loss. But up at the front, Raphael is 18 seconds ahead of second place. Literally driving alone. So barring any major incidents, which there shouldn't be because you're not under any pressure, that should be your race winner, but we will come back. And that really is the true danger. I'm surprised that we didn't see more cars do exactly what happened to Mike there, where they just go a little too hard into that chicane, especially when you're flat out here. Oh, Jesus. Why? How long was it like that? Oh, my fuck. Well. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Jesus, it was a good race, too. You got the radio broadcast today. I'm not entirely sure what is up with OBS because I definitely I had the "we'll be back" box unchecked, so that's unfortunate. Yeah. Now I got everyone sending me. I had everything muted. Sorry, guys. Well, you got the radio broadcast, and we will go back. Yeah, we're going to try to rein this back in. But, yeah, I had literally everything muted, guys, because I'm trying to focus on this. And like I said, it was unchecked like it shouldn't have been showing up, but it was still showing up, and it needed like another unchecking, I guess. So, very sorry for that. But anyway, you got the radio stream. Rafael Silva way out there in first place with Tomas 20 seconds behind in second, who came from the back of the field. Ryan Wilson just cruising along on his own in third place. He's about, well, he's not that far behind. Oh, Jesus. I don't know who that was. Someone just, I can't even begin to know who that was. But yeah, that was another rough one. We see quite a few cars out this race. There's Henry Green. We're down to Michael, I think, packed it in. Yeah, he did. I mean, we have 8 cars running. There's 8 cars left in this race. Is that possible? 7 cars left in this race. My God. I mean, we kind of knew Charlotte was, a little bit tough, but not like this. Yeah, this is unprecedented. How many people are out of this race? With 5 minutes to go, Raphael's driving on his own. Tomas driving on his own. Ryan's trying to catch up with Tomas, but his car looks like it's been through the ringer. Seam way back. Well, not way back. Is that Geary? No, that's not Geary behind him. That's someone else. We're all over the place. Seam is 24 seconds back from third. Geary is 5 seconds off him. The field is incredibly spread out. I'm not sure that we're going to see any more action this race, unfortunately. Not that any of you saw it anyway. Yeah. Shout out to Tomas and Raphael, though. Somehow survived what apparently was too much for a lot of people. So much of the field is... I don't know who that person driving back with them is. Oh, it's Jeff Arroyan back out on track. Must have repaired the damage. Doesn't look like you repaired that damage too much. I would say that is not repaired at all. Yeah, that car's crab walking, and it's gonna be back to the pits for him. Raphael catching up with lap traffic at this point. And he shouldn't have any issues trying to pass. I think most of these guys that are left are just going to kind of let him go. And then Jeffrey's in there. Man, rip another. That's a big crash. It's still rolling. And that to me looked like it was exiting the exiting the chicane. We're gonna go back and look, because it seemed like a good one, right? Unfortunately, again, we know it happened at the chicane, but this program's like, here's the start of the lap, so you can watch all the build up. And again, I don't really. We can just, yeah, there should be a way to do that in the app. We'll work on that. Coming down, it looked to me like maybe just a little too much. Should we hop on board? It could be fun. Let's see. Again, there's not much else happening. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. And he didn't even hit the wall. The car just got kind of loose on him. So unfortunately, that's gonna end Will's day. There's no way that car's driving out of that. It is unbelievable how much of the field is out of this race. We have the top 7 driving. I mean, it's truly unbelievable to me that there's this few. Michael's out. Henry's crashed. Sam Jordan's crashed. So, yeah, Jeffrey's coming around, and he is the 8th driver on track. I don't know what to say to everyone involved, but that's almost as bad as leaving an overlay up for the entire stream, almost. But But yeah, even Tomas, 26 seconds back. Rafael just, pretty much buried the field here. Even though he's got some damage to the front of his car, and it looks like he might have. I don't recall that being there. It might be new-ish. Ryan Wilson is still in third. He's cruising on his own here. He's now 30 seconds. No, he's 3 seconds behind Tomas. What is this? Oh, this is the last lap of the race, I believe. Or we're going to be coming up on it soon. So unfortunately, impressive that he kept up with Tomas there. In third place is going to be a good look if he doesn't wreck. But third place is still very good for Ryan. That's a good showing. Tomas is, what was his last? 127.6. What was it? Ooh. So Ryan actually snatched a half second off Tomas' last lap. But we should be. Rafael's through. If my app is correct, there is 16 seconds left before the white is thrown. The rest of the field. Is that Stewart? Yeah. Alright, let's see. Is Stewart going to be able to catch up with Luca? Luca's car looks like hell. We know he got involved in some earlier incidents that were unsavory, we can say. But it looks like Stewart actually could be trying to reel him in. This is the final lap. The white flag is out. So we will keep one eye on this and one eye on our race leader and where he's at. Yeah, Tomas isn't even... We're not even through the infield yet. Rafael's cruising. We can probably assume reasonably that he is not going to crash. And actually, so I didn't notice this. Stewart, Luca, and Seam are all a lap down. Seam has major damage to his car. Absolutely major damage. That is going to be... Oh, no. On the last lap, he's going to be able to maybe bring it home. Is he going to lose a position to Luca? There it goes. Oh, no. Well, Rafael coming across the line in first position. An outstanding race for him. Tomas is going to be right behind him. I have to know. Seam lost a ton of positions there. And he is just doing everything he can to bring that car across the line. And you know what? The way this race went, you should absolutely be proud of that you made it to the end. Because not a lot of people did. But we see Rafael enjoying his win here. It was not a pretty race. It was not a race to remember. But it was fun. And we're going to go back and we're going to watch some of those incidents and, some of the embarrassment that inevitably happened because the amount of people that didn't finish is shameful. That's about all I got for you there. It's shameful. But all in all, an exciting race. Again, your race winner is Rafael Silva. We will actually do this now. So I want to know. I think we all want to know what happened to Seam. So we're gonna do that. Let's have a look and see if we can't see what exactly happened here, because it was incredibly unfortunate. He was having a great race. I mean, it still was a good race. He brought it home. But that being said, he did lose a few positions on this last lap, and we're going to see exactly what happened. If I'm looking at the incident count, we had a 1 into a 2, which tells me that there was a loss of control. But I would think, if I was a betting man, that it was probably entering the oval part of the track. So we'll have to see here. Again, it only takes me to the front of the lap. It doesn't want you to have too much. Actually, you know what? I don't think that was it. I apologize. That absolutely, I don't think was the incident. There was an incident, a 4X with Stuart Hayden and Seam. Now, I don't know if this is... Okay, come on. Yeah. It could have been. Maybe it's related to these two. Again, this was the last lap. Oh, you know what? Is this the... Yeah, okay, that's the end of the race. It juked me. That's why there's incidents that happen. So by that, Voff, you got off easy there. Let's take a look though and see, because we had so many incidents that happened. Especially, it seemed like early on. So let's take a look and see if we can't go back to the beginning of that race. And there was just scrolling through this list, the amount of incidents it's pretty unbelievable. So let's take a look here. And we can take a look. We'll try to see if we can't watch a little bit more of what happened at the back of the pack here during this race, because it was a seemingly chaotic start. We know Valette here had some kind of side-by-side contact. Maybe not. Rune on the outside. Could have been that. Nope. There's absolutely some 4Xs that happened early. I assume that we had to have lost people early in the... Oh, you know what? Oh, that was where we saw Posse die. So yes, we do remember that. And I know I can't remember if we saw this on stream. I feel like it's kind of vaguely coming back to me. But that was a good opportunity to see the rest. Now this one we want to check out. This was early on in the race. This was a 2 into a 4X. I believe there was an incident that happened pretty early that took a lot of the field out. It seemed like at least 3 or 4 people dropped very quickly. And we know that there was probably one here. We see these cars taking a lot of curb back. A lot. No, we're not seeing that. It was a 2X into a 4X. If I was a betting man, it's probably maybe the chicane. That's my guess. Let's just see exactly what Nico saw here coming down this back, because I don't think there was any major crashes early in the race back there, but there might have been. Oh, he's much faster through that. Oh, and that would be the 2X. I didn't see a 4. It might have been with Hugh there. But we see that the chicane did claim somebody. I think it just claimed, Sylvain. So Sylvain Valette also having a little bit of a moment there early on in the race. Going back through as well, there were some other ones that happened. We saw Rune take himself out. We did want to see what happened. Oh, there's so many, and I have no way to know which ones were the ones. Derek Hartley had a pit stop on lap 10. So I suspect this is it. That's it. There it is. Yeah, there was some kind of major accident here. I'm not sure what Dirk did, but I sure would like to know. Because I don't think that he came out after this. Whatever happened here. He did not finish the race. One of many. And his car, you can see, already has tons of damage. I feel like most of the field by the end of this had quite a bit. This was, I would say it was like a cup race, but it wasn't. It wasn't quite a cup car. Really wasn't enough argy-bargy between cars. But it was just everyone taking themselves out on the track, just having a hard time with the curbs. And again, I'm not seeing. Yeah. That's not. Yeah, it's not really what you want to do. Sometimes you can slingshot yourself along the wall if you're really good. But I have a feeling that was probably the contact for that, and I'm not quite sure if that would have been enough. Yep, looking at how he's holding that wheel. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a track that's friendly to cars with bent steering, because you really need to thread the needle through there. That was the end of Dirk. Who else? We're just gonna look for who went in the pits, because those are the guys that probably something happened. Jeffrey Arroyan we see here. He's on my list. Again, it kind of sucks that like I have to like try to find it throughout the whole lap. So we're just gonna. Oh, oh, okay. Hang on, forget it. I was just kidding. What the hell? I've never seen. Dude, how hard did you whip that thing? Hang on. I need a... It looks like he might have also had bent steering at this point. Yeah, I think that probably contributed. I've just never seen... Oh my god. Wow. Okay. All right. That's interesting. That's, I suppose, what bent damage will do. We have another driver here, Timu, who it loves to jump to him first. But we see Timu, and he had a 2xer this lap, so we're gonna cheat again because I really don't like the way it does it. But oh yeah, there it was. Yeah. Oh no, that won't work. Yeah, ooh, a little too much on the inside. Surprising. And I think that was the end. Yeah. That was a V2 moment. V2. There was actually, I think this was the race where we saw Tom Basley was out early again. Like very early, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to see, he pit stop on lap 1. So let's see if we can't see exactly what happened to Tom. Because he was starting way up at the front there. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this happened entering the oval. Probably towards the back, but it'll still be fun to watch the front of the field again as this race started off. Again, Mike did a great job getting away. Sam was under fire almost immediately from... Ooh, I don't recall Sam having that kind of a moment like that. But definitely lost some positions there. But again, we're here for this man because Tom has had top 2 pace, I would say, every single race so far. But I'm not sure that he's finished a single time. And it's really been by no fault of his own. It seems like everyone else is just consistently trying to hit him. We obviously last week saw him DNF twice due to crashes with Tomas. And then this race, did they try to go too wide? You guys crazy? No, Tom actually, oh, he didn't turn it in enough. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. We saw he was trying to wanted that lead, and that led to the end of his race. I believe that is probably a large majority of it. Oh no, we wanted to see. Did we see what happened to Seam in the last lap of the race? I thought we did, but I might be wrong. Yeah, that's already got the damage, so it would have been. It would have been this one, I think. And this will be the last one of the evening. There was, I think that it had to have happened this lap because I didn't have anything on 25. That's very strange. We'll see exactly where this happened. We're just gonna kind of move this along here because as much as I love to just watch. Oh yeah, we did see this, didn't we? Or am I an idiot? There's been so many that I can't remember which ones that we've watched and which we haven't. I actually think that's a new one. It's actually a extremely commonplace spot for cars to wind up after the chicane. See quite a few GT3 cars go out there and they never come back. But all that said, that is going to do it for today's stream. I apologize greatly for leaving the thing up as long as I did. I'm going to have to designate some people that are not blocked or muted during streams for when I accidentally do stuff like that. But a fun second race, a very fun first race. Next week we are, where are we? Laguna Seca. So that's an interesting track with these cars, and that is a 10-minute qualifying followed by a 45-minute race. But the fuel tanks in that race will be limited. I believe we will need to do at least one pit stop. But we'll see. Again, we're kind of always tweaking this. It seems like the early feedback I'm seeing is that some of maybe the race was a little too long. Maybe this is a better series for more of the sprint style races. Very quick, constantly going ones. But all things considered, not a bad evening. The Miatas are always a good time. We appreciate you watching. Appreciate you coming out. Laguna Seca in 2 weeks for what should be an interesting time with limited fuel, but we will see. That could change. But until next time, thanks for coming out. This has been round 2 of the ACRL Miata series.